Thursday when the line was so bad. I just want to get that spreadsheet out again. Give me 1 second. Okay. So this was the spreadsheet. Okay, let me just explain to you. All right. Okay, let's just explain and run through this example again, but let's just make this 86 now. Doesn't matter if it's a 3 or 4. Okay, so in this example that we had the other day, I said to you that I have a practice and it's called Fortain Inc. So this is just understanding the whole dynamics of this section 86. Okay, but let's just ignore whether it's a 3 or 4, 86.3 or 86.4. So I have a practice, and Vincent, he comes into my practice and he would like to do a transfer of property. And on the 15th of May, he wants to do it. So basically, he comes and I say to him, it's 100,000 Rand. He puts that money into my trust bank account. Okay? He put it into the trust bank account and my corresponding entry. The corresponding entry, I'm going to raise Vincent as my trust creditor, because when I undertake to do business with him or to do his property transfer, he then becomes a trust creditor because I have an obligation to deliver. I took his money, there's an obligation. So I raise my trust creditor. That is step 1. Okay? Eventually, Vincent phones me later on in the evening because Vincent knows that I'm not the most honest attorney in town. So Vincent asked me, Aziza, I heard that the money just going to lay there in the account, is it safe? I say, no, Vincent, what I'm going to do is I am going to put it into a Section 86 account, okay, in Nedbank, and I'm going to name it Trust Investment, and let's just also put here /Vincent, okay? So now we name the account Section 786, Nedbank Trust Investment, and it's Vincent. So I take that money out of my trust bank account, right? I remove it here because obviously if it was here, I need to remove it on the credit side. I then deposit it into my 86 account. On the debit side, money coming in, here money is leaving. So now it makes perfectly sense. Right? So I've got those two contra accounts now. Right. Somewhat in December, Vincent phones me again and say, I heard through the grapevine that the transfer is going to be ready. Okay? Why I'm doing it so far apart is for you to get the picture. So on the 30th of December, I go to Nedbank, 86 account, and I draw Vincent's statement and I see there's 180,000 in the account. I say, wow, so 80,000 was interest. I then remove it. Remember, the book shows you to remove it like this, the full 180,000. But I prefer to break it down. Like I said to you the other day, let's just break it down, right, into the 100, and I pay my trust creditor off. That 100 goes there, and I pay my trust creditor Vincent. Now Vincent's account is clear, right? The liability is reduced. That 80 is the contra account here. So in effect, this year becomes my trust. Let's just write in a different color. Trust cash receipt journal. This year sort of becomes my trust cash payments journal. Okay? And this amount here goes to my transfer journal, the interest. Okay. Now, I said here the 86 is irrelevant if it's the 3 or the 4. If it's the 3, right, we would have another account here called the legal fidelity fund, and that 80,000 will then go into the legal fidelity fund. And let's just do a change 56 and right, and this is under an 86.3. If this was an 86.4, right? And then only 5% of this 80,000 will go to the legal fidelity fund. Let's just calculate it quickly. 80,000 times 5% is 4,000. So 4,000 will go to the legal fidelity fund, and Vincent will get the 76,000. So this is basically the gist of 86, 3 and 4. Any questions on this? Vincent? Any questions?
No.
Morning, Aziza.
Morning.
Aziza, don't you mean if it's a if it's a 4, because you just wrote down if it's a 3 on both occasions.
Oh, sorry, I copied this over, man. Sorry, I copied the T account, so I didn't notice it. Okay, so this is when it's a 4. Thanks for noticing that. Anybody else? Anything else from anybody else? Okay, let's move on.
Aziza,
Yes. Yes.
does it matter whether we write section 78 or section 68?
86, you mean? Yes, yes, it does matter because they accounted for differently. So in 86.3, right? If you're accounting for it in 86.3, 100% of this money goes to the legal fidelity fund. If it's a 86.4, you can see I broke up 4,000 goes to the legal fidelity fund and 76 goes to Vincent. So it does matter.
Okay.
For the 78, it would have, if it was a 78 to capital A, then 100%, the whole 80,000 would have gone to Vincent. You understand?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Now I think we're just going to take the other question. We did 8.2. So I think we're just going to have to adapt the question. Seeing that we're not going to be doing a getting test on a 78. So let's just adapt it to a 86 and let's do 8.3. Okay. So let's look at 8.3 on page 133. Okay, and just before the required line, it says all investments were made in accordance with Section 78 of the Attorneys Act. Let us just adapt this to 86 of the Attorneys Act, seeing that we're not getting tested on the 78. Okay. So, I want to give you 5 minutes, and I want you to do the trust bank and the trust creditors as control account, which should take you about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we can discuss it. Okay. The trust bank and the trust creditors control account.
Aziz,
Yes.
you say all investments were made in accordance with Section 78, right?
No.
Not 86.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I want you to do it in accordance with 86 because we're not
Oh,
getting tested on a
I must
76,
change it
28.
according to 86.
Yeah. Just do it according to 86. So where you would have identified it as a, identified as a 3, where you had identified it as a capital A, identified as a 4, 86.4. Okay. Is this confusing, this chapter, or is it easy?
Let's see. For now, it looks good. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes is up. People, you must work on your feet. Okay, let's just discuss this trust bank account now. Did everybody go for the first remark, which was my balance brought down? Okay. And we know that a balance brought down is on the debit side of our trust bank. Why? Because it's an asset. Okay. So they gave us this balance. How many people did not get this balance? Okay, so everybody got the balance. Okay. Next, all our receipts. Yes. What do you want to say? Okay. So our receipt was on the 22nd, where they say Morgan withdrew the investment and received 95,625. 95,625. Right? They say also Morgan redeemed half of the investment made and received 76,000 on day 31. Okay, so 76,825, and that was on the 22nd of what month is this? August. Okay, and this was the 30th of August. Okay. Let's look at our payments on the slide. Right. So our payments consisted of day 1, we received 150,000. Right. And that was for Morgan's attorneys from Best Bank. Let's just put in a slash Best Bank. Okay. And then on day 3, Mo requested to Morgan to invest the amount in his trust account in a special savings. He invested the amount in First Bank. Okay, so we go to the trust creditors list and we see the MO. Okay, and it was 93,000 rand that went out of my payments. Okay. And then day 5 was where Veyers requested Morgan to invest 58,000. So 58,000 also went out of my bank account. Okay, and then day 22, Barney, on request of M. Morgan attorneys paid 48,750 to his daughter, right? 48,750 rand. Okay. Let me just see the difference between those two quickly. Just give me one sec quickly. Did everybody get these amounts so far?
Yeah, Ziza, why don't you do the journals first and then the ledgers? And then transfer, or is it you find this easier?
But I find that doing the ledgers easier. I don't know how you people feel about it, but I know that certain people like Balisa, I think, and then P.S. Shaya, she also found that the ledgers are easier to do. And
Right.
then put it in your, I don't know, it's up to you.
Yeah. I actually find it the other way around. I find the journal easier. Then it's easier.
That's the proper way.
Because then you post it through from the journal to the ledgers. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And the other people, how do they feel? Remember, Terence, you did accounting before, no? At school.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that has an impact on the way you work. Anybody else, Palisa and the rest, and Perez and the rest, how do you people feel about the ledgers first?
I'm happy with the way we are working.
Okay, it's not the ideal way to do it, but I think for you people in your case. Okay, so let's continue. MO, who's your trust creditor, right? They say Morgan withdrew Morgan withdrew the investment on the 3rd of August on the 22nd, I'm busy on the 22nd, and received 95,625. So 95,625 minus 48 is the balance of the 46,875. Okay. This is the amount. Let me just add another 2 lines here. Okay. So now let's tally up the 337, right? 170, 95,625, and the 76 is 509,950, right? 509,950. So 509,950 minus all these is going to have a carry down value of 112,575. Carry down. And go down. Okay, so this is my trust bank account. How many people got this to the T right? Okay, but you people didn't do it. Okay, you did do it. Your trust bank account, how many people got it right and how many people got it wrong? And those that got it wrong, where did you go wrong? How many people never attempted it at all? And how many people just went halfway and got stuck?
I wasn't stuck. I was just too slow, but I think I was on the right track. I was on the just quite on the debit side. I had put in everything properly, but I was very slow. I didn't go further than that.
Being slow is another problem, eh? With accounting, you must be able to work fast. So I want you people to start working on your speed. So the point is you can do something 100%, but it takes you 5 hours to do it 100%. It is not going to work either. So that is also another thing that you people need to start from now onwards working on your speed. That's why I'm only giving you 5 minutes, and I want you to do as much as possible in that 5 minutes. Who did not attempt it at all? Who felt it was too difficult to do? Nobody. Okay, how many people actually got it right? 100% right. I can't see if you're raising your hands because I'm in the Excel spreadsheet now. And you got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
Aziza.
Yes. Yes.
I got it right, but then I wrote the totals for all the creditors instead of breaking them down like mils. The way you wrote it.
Now, did you get the totals? How did you get the totals? Did you look at the answer in the book? Okay, did you do it separately?
No.
And then you got the answer. So how did you get the totals?
The way you did it there, I didn't write the creditors' names and the separate amounts. I just combined all of them.
Okay, so you had an amount of 397,375 here.
Yes.
But now, how did you get to that? Did you work
I
it
just
on a
said
separate piece of paper?
93,750 plus. Pardon?
Okay, so you worked it out on a separate piece of paper.
Yes.
Okay, but then you must cross-reference your stuff. Okay, so basically everybody got it right. Now, what I want to say to you is, so basically this sort of becomes your trust cash receipt journal. Okay, so if we were to do it on this page here, we would have something like bank. We would have something like trust creditors control. Creditors control. And let's just call it details here. And let's just call it date here. Okay, so now I would then copy my 95 into my bank, copy that one into there, right? Under my trust creditors control, I would then have the same, debit one, debit the other, okay? And then here I would have mode. What section would I have here? 6.4. Then I would have here section. Okay, and that was the 22nd, the 8th, and that was the 31st of the 8th. Can you see how it becomes then much more simpler then? My trust cash receipts journal. If you do it this way, it's up to you how you want to do things or understand things. Not everybody's brain works the same. But for me, this works much better. Look at this example here now, okay? My trust credit, I'm going to put here, I'm going to do now my trust cash payments journal, right? So now I do bank, right? Trust creditors control. Let's put all the details here. Okay. Okay. So I can now copy all of these over. Right, so here we'll have all my details. You can now. Here we'll have my date, the 1st of the 8th, 3rd of the 8th, 5th of the 8th, 2nd of the 8th, and the 31st of the 8th. So then you can add it up and it will give you now 397,000, 375. I forgot to add up the top one. Okay, this one should have also been added up. No, 172, 450. So can you see how easy it becomes? It becomes not easier, but you make less mistakes.
You can probably do it quicker like that, actually.
I think so. To me, it works better and quicker and more accurately. Because if you jump into this, just picture yourself jumping into this. Imagine the question says you do your trust cash, your subsidiary journal. You're going to make a mistake if you're going to jump into this stuff first. But with your ledgers, you just don't go wrong because you got your debit, your credit. You can't see a debit for a credit so clearly in this receipts journal. And here you can always see it with ledgers, you can see it clearly. So any other comments from the other students?
Yeah, I think for me it has eliminated a lot of confusion because when I start with the journal, it mixes up the figures for me. So this is much better for me.
But I want you to also practice it like this. Don't just look at what I'm doing because things just look easy when I'm doing it. So you need to practice pen to paper. Accounting is pen to paper. So at all times, and with a blank piece of paper, because count in the time of drawing up the ledgers. I know some people are so finicky, They take for long to draw, the ledger with a ruler, blah, blah, blah. That takes some time, so you need to count in that kind of time as well. So let's continue. So you're going to do the trust creditors control, and this should take you even less than 5 minutes. Take you about 2 minutes. So I'll just give you 2 minutes, and you do the trust creditors control quickly.
Sorry, can I ask a question before we move down, please?
Yes, you may.
I struggled with the where you got the, I think it was the 46,875 on the credit side from the trust bank, the last amount.
Okay, that's 46,875. You say,
yes.
You see, they said, on page 22, they say Morgan attorneys withdrew the investment of 3rd of August and received 95. No? So let's just put it in brackets here. So 95, 625 minus your 48,750. 48,750. So then that will give you the 46,875 because he received 95,000, but he paid 48. So it's the difference between the two.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, trust creditors control. Everybody complete the trust creditors control. Should have taken you 2 minutes. Okay, so we know our balance brought down is 337,500. That marks for jam, eh? Let's look at more marks for jam. So we know on our trust creditor, the side is payment and the side is receipt. Okay, so my receipt was 172,450 rand, and my receipt from this side was 397,375 rand. And don't forget, there must be a column which says where it comes from. So trust cash payment journal, and on this side you're going to put trust cash receipt journal. Don't forget where the money would come from. That is why you have to actually do this one first to be able to put that in. But for students, I would suggest other way around. Okay, so did everybody get this right?
Ziva, just on the trust cash payments journal side, shouldn't that be trust bank there instead of balance?
Yeah, the 337.
Yeah, 397, 375.
397, 375.
Where you've got payments, shouldn't that be trust bank?
Yeah, you can put trust bank or payments.
Doesn't matter, eh?
It doesn't really matter. Right, both rather. Okay, so 337 and 172 is 513. 650. 513, 650. And now is a little bit of a problem now, which is our interest. Okay. So what was our interest that we calculated here? Did you people do the interest and did you apportion it? Doesn't really matter what the interest is. Okay, so what the amount of interest did you people have, or did you put in the interest?
1,825.
1,825. Did anybody get anything else? Anything else? Terence, what did you get? That's not all the interest. Yes, who am I speaking to?
It's Kumbuzo. That's where I struggled. I didn't know how to calculate the interest.
Okay, so let's just make a hash here, interest. Okay, so I think it was Shaya. She was correct in saying that there's an 1825 interest, but she wasn't 100% correct. So the first interest, does she want to explain where she got the 1825 quickly from?
It says here that Morgan Attorneys redeemed half the trust investment. So 150,000 divided by 2, that's 75,000. So they received 76,825 minus 75,000. That gives us 1,825.
Okay, and who does that money go to?
This is 3, right? 100% goes
to the legal fidelity fund.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let's just put in the legal fidelity fund. Okay, and let's just put in here in brackets so that we don't all get confused. 86.3. Okay, the next amount is the 1875, right? So the 1875 is the amount of moles. Okay, let me just see. Moles made an investment. Let me just see something quickly. Moles, moles. Okay, moles is 93,750, right? I'm so confused now. 93,750 minus, with my calculator, so how much interest was for moles? 93,750 minus 95,25. Okay, did you get that? So that is the 1875 of moles. Okay, which was calculated by saying, if I look at my trust creditors ledger, moles had 93,750, right? But when he reaped his investment, he received the 95,625. So the difference was the 1875. And who does this money go to? Anybody? Trust? Does it go to moles, or who gets this money?
Well, according to the question, I think it goes to Mills because he asked for that investment to be done. But if we're doing it according to section 86.3, it changes things as well.
86.4. 86.4 would say then that 1875.0.95, so 1780. 1780 will go to moles. And 5%, 1780 minus 1875 minus 1875, let's just say 95 rand. 95. So 95 rand will go to the legal fidelity fund. And then we'll get our 1875. Okay, so basically what you're going to do there is in your trust journal, it will look something like this. Okay, so you're going to have moles, 17, was it 1825? 1875, 1875, and then you're going to credit your legal fidelity fund with 95. And that will be the 1780, right? And then here you could make something to identify it better, like section 86.4. Investment, and whichever bank, what bank was that? Africa Bank, what? First Bank, Best Bank, First Bank. That's First Bank. Just make this smaller so you can see. Okay, so you kind of like understand how you get it. Let's just discuss this trust journal. Okay, let's just discuss this trust journal. Does everybody understand now what I did now when I adapted it now to the 86.4?
Aziza?
Yes.
Can I just check something here? According to the notes from the study guide on page 129.
Yes.
According to the example that we have here, it seems as if Mill's investment was according to 78 to capital letter A.
Yes, but remember, I said to you now, you are right, you're right. Remember I said to you, because we're not getting tested on a 78, we're only getting tested on section 86. Let's just adapt the question. So that's why my solution is really slightly different. Okay, I hope everybody came late now, because you're not getting the 78. But okay, the rest of you do. Okay, does the rest of you get the understand what we're doing here now with the trust investment? So the trust journal is clear to you people. Hello? Nobody wants to talk to me today. Are you confused? You don't want to talk to me? What's the reason? It's very easy or what? Yes. Yes.
I'm finding this section really confusing. I think I need more practice. Because whenever I think that I got it, yes.
Okay, no problem. Just practice it more. Because it's the last day we're gonna do this. So if you need assistance, just let me know, shout. Next, when I see you again, we're gonna have to move on to correspondence. And I want to spend more time on correspondence, actually double session, because the one is instructing and the other one is instructed. So I want the first to be molded into your heads how instructed work and then how instructing works. So I don't want to be all over the place with you people. So make sure you can master this. Okay, because if they told you there's an 86, there's definitely 86 in the paper, so you're going to get something like that. For how many marks, I don't know. It's not, do you want me just to repeat this whole exercise? Do you want me just to do a summary of this exercise quickly?
Yeah, please.
Okay. In this exercise, I did the trust bank first, which was the side. Okay. I put all my receipts on my debit side because debits are pluses, right? I put all my outflows on my credit side. Okay. So with that, I tallied it up. I took all my payments from all the different clients, right? I put it into my credit side. I tallied it up. I closed off, right? And then I did my cash receipts journal based on that, right? When I did my trust cash receipt journal, I took these amounts here. You know why I find it easier doing it from this side, because you don't know at this stage how much money is with the interest, and that's where you start making a mistake. Because when you get the money at first, when was that Morgan? When Morgan got the money, it was 150. You understand? So the interest is with the amount here. So you could make the mistake of just putting in the 93,750 as opposed to the 95,625, and you could make the mistake of putting the 75,000 instead of the 76,825. So that's why I say it's easier to do it with the ledgers first. Okay.
Yeah.
This is my payments aside, right? Tally it off, and now I can just transfer it over to my trust cash payments journal. I put my references in and my dates and whatever I want to. This part here, in my trust creditors control, okay, that was another 3,700, and that was a 3,700. I didn't even finish this. So this part here is then my trust journal. Okay, so this is the part that I'm going to do in my trust journal. and that's this amount plus this amount here. Okay. Let's try the next example and let's just see. Okay. Okay, now I want you now to do the trust creditors account.
Aziza, before we move on to the new example, can you just go over the trust creditors control account again? So we have the amount from the total cash receipts journal, and that one is from the payment receipts. And that total that you have at the bottom, does it include the interest?
I have to still carry it down here. We actually didn't finish this example. Because I went to the trust journal and then I forgot about it. I thought I was finished. Okay, so you have to then tally it up here, and then there's a carry down value of 112,000 here. Sorry about that. Was that your question, your confusion?
Yeah, because my balances were differing this side, so I was wondering what.
Okay.
You
know what? When you can start telling me that kind of stuff, then I'm glad and I'm happy. I know you're going to pass because you can notice my mistakes. Always good to be able to notice my mistakes or stuff that's wrong. Okay, so now I want you to do the trust creditors account for Weyers and Mills. Okay, those two accounts. Do you people also get confused if I say I want you to do the trust credit or the client's account or some account? Do you get confused with, like, you know what to do, but you just don't know what is the name of that account? Are you people confused with stuff like that?
You should rather say Mills ledger account or something like that, or Mills trust account, rather than what you said, you know?
The trust creditors, but I don't have to tell you the name of all the trust creditors, eh? In the first exams, I don't think they told you the names of all the trust creditors. They just said the trust creditor accounts.
Yeah, okay. There's a difference between the control account and the creditor account.
Okay. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. Okay, is everybody done with this? Trust creditors account. This should take you very, very quick. Everybody done? Okay. For Vayas, what did you have for Vayas? Vayas is just easy. This is a balance brought down, which was 112,500. Everybody should have got that. Okay. Mo's Trust Bank payments equal to 48,750. See why I like that payment was a more accurate reflection of what actually happened. And then 46,875. Okay. So trust bank payments, that, and the balance brought down in the ledger, in the trial balance was 93,750. Okay. So he was paid out 95,625 at the end of the day. 95,625. So the interest is 1875. Everybody get this?
The interest is posted from the journal, right?
Yes. Okay. Anybody else?
I just need to ask, why are we posting the full amount if the client is getting 95%?
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. No, but you're gonna pay. No, you're gonna post the full amount. It's just in the trust journal that you're gonna break it out. We're just accounting for your. Yeah.
Okay, and then I see that we started with the payments for the payments after the investments. When we go on the debit side, don't we start by when he paid out the full amount, the 93? Don't we list that as well on the debit side?
No. Remember, my balance brought down in the trial balance. The trust creditors consists on page 134. They gave it to us as a balance brought down 93,750. So that's your starting point, because my balance brought down. But the payments that he received was 48.46. So which means to say the balance was interest.
Okay, so we do the same for VS as well, because I had done it in the opposite manner where I said balance brought down 112,500, and then he requested for 58,000 to be invested. So I put that on the debit side. So that is wrong then.
What did you, sorry, what did you just explain to me? Are you busy with VS or MOs now?
For both of them, I did the same thing, but I see you didn't do that. So I guess I got it wrong, because if the balance brought down, well, let's start with VS. His balance brought down is 112,500, and then he requested for 58,000 to be invested. So I went on the debit side and I put in 58,000 because it affects his balance at the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's right.
And I did the same for meals as well. Before the payment, there was the initial payout when we invested the money, and then I put it back on the receipts, then paid out back again, which will give me the same total. That's what I'm asking. Like, do I not need to do that?
I don't quite understand what you're saying, but maybe you can just send me a snapshot when you after class on the WhatsApp group, or then just send me a snapshot and I can know exactly what you're saying, what you did. So then just write it out what you did and take a pic for me, and I can see.
Arvida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I try to respond to what she's saying, because I think I understand what she's saying.
Okay.
She says that because Weyers gave an instruction that an amount of 58,000 has to be invested, then she took the amount out of Weyers' balance when she was doing the ledger. But The money is still invested. It has not been paid out as yet.
Yes,
So
yes,
she was not supposed to debit the money in Wea's
yes,
account because it's still invested. It can only reflect in his account when the money has been paid.
yes, you're right.
Okay.
I hope she
Thanks.
understands.
Thank you, Larissa.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question is quite interesting because it combines chapter 6, 7, and 8 together. So I want you to do the trust bank account. Remember, once again, we're changing it. We're going to use the section 86. Okay? So let's just change it on page 140 to section 86. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do your trust bank account again. Let's start again with our trust bank and then we work from that way.
What page did you say, Aziza?
The question is on page 140.
Thank you.
Is this section 86.3 or 86.4?
If it's a small a, then use the 86.3. If it's a big capital A, then use the 86.4.
Okay.
Hi, Aziza.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Is this lesson being recorded? Because I actually lost track. My data just ran out somehow during the lesson.
Yes, it says you're recording.
All right then, thank you. I'll check it out maybe
Okay.
after the class.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Let's see how far you people got with this example. Right. How many people completed? Was there anybody that completed the example? The trust bank account? Nobody. Should I give you more time?
Please give us time before we get a solution. Me give me
Okay.
time.
And there is, okay, I'll give you another 5 minutes. I'll come back at 12:15. Okay, I'm back now. I was all the time here, I was just sitting. Okay, let's do our trust bank. Did you manage to do more? Did you manage to complete it? Have we got a problem with our time, with our speed still? Talk to me.
Yeah, speed's a problem. Man. Speed's an issue. The way I do it,
speed is a very big issue. Yeah, it's a very big issue. Okay, so basically we have a balance brought down of 37,000, which we had from on page 139. So there was a trust bank account. Okay, yeah. Does everybody get there?
Yeah.
Okay, so now our receipts. Okay, so let's just put it here in as receipt. So on day 14, there was a 250 Rand receipt. And on day 24, there was a 4,000 Rand receipt. Okay, from Pacha. Sorry, from Adams. And that was the day 24. Okay. On my trust cash receipt side, okay, on day 1, 1st of May, just leave that date there, we had G. Adams, okay, and we issued a bank deposit, a bank guarantee check of 15,000 with Candace attorneys to cover the fees and charges. Okay, so that is the 15,000. Okay, day 14, right? Candace attorneys received a combined check from Bacher, a client, for the amount of 700. And sorry, man, this is incorrect here. That had to go to, I'm just reading now because that had to go to my trust. This is wrong.
It's a business receipt.
Yeah, that should have gone. I'm reading now with the 450 and the 250. That was a business receipt. Sorry. Just okay. G. Adams decided to divorce his wife and deposit a bank check of 15,000, a bank guarantee check. Okay, so that is for Adams. So the 15,000 goes into the bank account, and that is the first. Right? On the 14th, you know, when I gave you a break, I was sitting here and the sun, you know, that sun had come through a window that just makes you asleep. So I think I lost the people.
I almost broke up my pages and went to sleep.
Sorry, man.
No, it's okay. Because I'm like saying, God, I don't know what I'm doing.
And I'm reading here also, but this just doesn't make sense. But anyway, my head is so fuzzy now from this sun. Okay, so G. Adams, he deposited the 15,000, right? And then on day 14, right, the 700 was received from Canada, the combined check for Bacher. Okay? And so let's just see Bacher and they combined check. Right, day 24. So the 4,000 Rand, the divorce case was settled and C. Candace levied a fee of 4,000. C. Candace withdrew the investment on the 2nd of May and received 7,100. Right, so Candace attorneys received 7,100 from G. Adams. And that's just the whole 86 thing. Okay. On the 28th, C. Candace withdrew 500 Rand, blah, 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 and interest was 100 Rand. So there was a 5,100 Rand that was drawn. Right, and of the investment made on the 6th. So let's just call it the first bank
Aziza,
slash. Yes.
Aziz,
I could be
Yes.
off track here, but can I ask, please?
Yes.
Back
You
to
may.
your last entrance of G Adam of the 7,100.
Yes.
According to this statement, please can you clarify? Maybe I didn't understand it. He says the divorce case of Adam was settled and Sik and his attorney levied the 4,000 rands. Then they received 1.7. And the
7.1.
follow-up, 7.1, sorry. The follow-up question story is the attorney practice paid the amount due to G. Adams after all transfers were made. But
Yes.
do I have to record all the 7,000? Because to my understanding here, we didn't receive all the 7,100.
We did receive it. We withdrew the investment made on the 2nd of
Yes.
June and received 7.1.
Oh, so the follow-up transaction will come on its own. Does not matter now. We need to indicate.
You mean the amount that they're going to transfer?
Okay.
Are you talking about that, Vincent, the amount that we're going to transfer?
Yes, because I'm confused with the follow-up statement which says they paid other due amount after they are paid off all the expenses.
Yeah, with that, I'm going to show you now. I think you have to do a separate ledger entry to know how much was transferred. Remember, like we did it the other day. Okay, there was somebody else that wanted to ask something. There was somebody else.
Yes, Aziza.
Yes.
Why did you write the 15,000? Why did you debit the 15,000 instead of crediting it?
The 15, because G. Adams decided to divorce his wife and deposited 15,000 with Candace attorney. So G. Adams put the money into Candace attorney's account. Remember, we're doing the books of Candace attorneys now.
Yes.
Why would you not want to put it in here? Explain to me why you would want to credit it.
Because it's a payment.
But it's a payment. It's a payment. No, it's not a payment. It's a payment from Adams. We're not doing Adams's books. We're doing Candace's books.
Oh. Okay.
You see, just always make sure whose books am I busy doing. Okay. And from there you take it. Okay, anybody else?
Yes. Can I ask why did you put the 5,100 on the debit side?
Because on the 28th, Candace attorneys withdrew the 5,000 made on the 6th of May, and interest on the investment amounted to 100. So they actually just give me a second quickly. They actually received 5,100 rand.
So if the attorney withdrew something, they received the money.
Sorry about that, Melissa. Melissa, the 5,000 rand was money that Candace withdrew plus the 100 rand interest. So the money was sent, if they withdrew it, they obviously deposited into their trust bank account payment. You with me? Is there anybody out there that would like to explain it to Melissa better maybe than what I can do it?
I think Aziza,
yes.
From what I picked up from there, what she's asking, I think I would also have been confused. But what I've understood is these questions, some of them are disguised. They're like we've been, from the way we've been working with you, we've been taking the actual amount. But now it looks like you need to do some work. It's like, because like these are two statements in one, but we need to make one entrance.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking at. So the question, that's why my other question on top was in that line also. So that's why, because previously I would have not understood it. But because now you have put it also there already, I can see where it comes from.
Okay.
Okay,
Anybody
Aziza.
else? Yes.
Aziza.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So I want to get something straight. Whenever it says withdrew, that means we have to record it under the cash receipts journal.
Yes, trust cash receipts journal. It's the same like if you ever put money on a fixed deposit, you go to Nedbank or to one of those what's it, Just Save and that type of fixed deposit, a 32-day account. It's the same story. So you go and you ask a Standard Bank, hi, I'd like a 32-day account, and now you put every month money into the 32-day account. What actually happens is when you say, I want to go buy me that car now, I was saving up so long for with this 32-day account. So what happens is you're going to ask Standard Bank, can you please just make my money loose, available? And Standard Bank says, yes, there's 32 days notice period. I say, okay, cool. The end of the month, I'll be back. The end of the month, after the 32 days, after the 32-day period, we then actually just put them, then the Standard Bank will put the money into your savings account or your check account. Is that not right? So now, obviously, it's an input into your bank account. It's the same concept. So then Standard Bank puts it in with the interest. They don't put you, if you just put in 2,000 Rand and now the interest is 500 Rand, they put in 2,500 Rand into your trust bank, into your Standard Bank account. Does that like clear the gist of this thing?
Aziza?
Okay.
Yes.
Can I try to explain?
Yes.
If we all look at the transactions on the 2nd and the 5th, Candice Attorneys took some money from the trust account to invest, which was 7,000 and sorry, it was 7,000 on the 2nd, and another instruction which was given was for a 5,000 to be invested. So when they withdraw the money from the investment, from the banks in which they invested, the money comes with interest. So because they took the money from the trust bank account, that is why when it reflects, it will reflect back to the trust bank general ledger, the actual amount which was invested plus the interest. If we can look at the previous examples that we've been doing with Aziza, you'll notice that we're always confused about how did the interest come up. But in this particular example, they separated the capital amount which was invested plus the interest, but it's almost the same thing as the previous examples that we did. But in the previous examples, they gave us a whole amount which included interest plus the capital amount which was deposited, which was invested, sorry. But now they've separated the actual capital amount plus the interest amount, which will be much easier for us when we have to do the ledger for the interest. I hope everyone understands.
Yes, Palisa, I understood what you were saying. You can just take my job now. That's how good you explained it.
Thank you, Aziza.
Okay. So I hope everybody now understands that, because that was a brilliant explanation. Okay, so now let's move on to my credit side of my trust payments, right? So now what was paid out was on day 2 was the 7,000 Rand, right? So on day 2 was Adam. Okay, and that was the 2nd of the, okay. Remember, only 7,000 Rand was paid out. That's like when I explained it to you last week. Okay. On the 5th, Candace attorneys instructed Advocate K. Lombard to handle Adam's divorce and paid his account for 6,000. Okay. So 6,000 is what's going to go out of my payments journal. And sorry, that is just ignore this date. Excel is doing this to me now. The 5th of the 5th. Okay, and that is for Adams. Numbers. Okay. On the next day, C. Candace decided to invest 10,000 of the trust money in the trust bank account not needed for immediate use in a special savings account at First Bank. Okay. So the 10,000 rand is what we have to remove from our trust bank. And let's put it here, First Bank. Right. On day 14, okay, the business bank account transfer, settlement of his account for services rendered in the collection, okay, fees have been charged during the previous month and it's 250, and the deposit for fees still to be levied for the preparation. Okay, so only the 250 is going to be paid, right? And there is the transfer to buffer on the 14th. Why is my date? My date doesn't want to. Okay. Then on the 24th, the divorce, and this is the one where they say that the attorney's practice paid out the amount after all. So this one, I'm going to put a star here because we first need to know what the transfer amount is. Okay? So then let's continue on day 24. The divorce case was settled and C attorneys, Candace attorneys levied a fee of 4,000. Okay? So that 4,000 rand came out of my payments journal. And the 24th of May. Right. And then on day 30, Candace attorneys received written instruction from Munich to invest 12,000 of his funds. Okay, so 12,000, and that's the 30th of the 1st, and the 5th of Munich. Right.
Isn't that 4,000? That doesn't belong in the payments journal.
Day 24.
It's
but
fees.
4,000, yes, but we was gonna 4,000 rand was settled. Remember, somewhere they already gave them money. So 4,000 was settled, so you're gonna pay that out of your trust payments journal. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay that for. It's gonna go to your business bank.
Business bank, yeah. You levied the fee. The fee was you charged the client 4,000, right?
Yes. But it was settled. Okay, so this part.
No, I got it.
You okay now?
Yeah, no, I got it. Thanks.
Why can't I get this right here? The 6th of May. Let's just take this 2020 out. And
sorry, Aziza, that question I think Terence just asked about the 4,000. I didn't get the explanation. Like he said, it's
settled. You see, the 4,000 rand was settled, right? And that is why we transfer it out from our trust cash payments journal, and it's going to go play in your business bank account to transfer.
Okay, settled. Okay.
Okay, but now I want to do the day 24. The divorce case was settled, and C. Candace levied a fee of 4,000. Okay, so I just want to draw a T account here. Right, for G Adams' account. Because we now want to know, and this is a trust creditors account. Okay, so we know that there was a balance brought down of 500 rand. Oh, you all with me, right? We know that for Adams, there was on the first, there was a 15,000 rand. Okay, so we debited our trust bank, we credited out G Adams trust creditor account. All right, right. We know that on the 5th of May, there was a fee of 6,000 rand that instructed K Lomba to handle the case. Okay, so trust cash payment journal, so there was a 6,000 bucks there, and let's just make a trust bank advocate whoever. Okay, we know that 4,000 rand was transferred to the client account, okay, for G Adams. All right, so now, and we know that there was 100 rand interest, right? This interest here, 100 rand, okay, from the section 72, right? So if we now tally it up, right, you're going to get the 15,600 rand here and the 15,600 rand here. Remember the transfer that I explained to you the other day, how to do the transfer to the client's ledger, all right? So you're going to do the 5,600 rand here, and that is your transfer now. Okay, so that 5,600 rand I'm going to put in here. Okay, and that is what's you're going to pay.
That's quite a tricky entry because you have to know that you have to do G Adams account in the ledger in order to establish the amount.
Yes.
So yeah, it's quite tricky.
Yes, because whenever they say something like that, before, after everything was settled or paid or transfer was made and stuff like that, you don't have the information at hand just like that. So they give you a long list of a client and they say, now everything is now settled, and then you obviously want to know, am I transferring to or from the business bank account? You see, that's why I say these chapters add sort of on and then interlink. So then you will know that you must draw up that client's T account. That's why I say it's easier to work all the time with T accounts.
Yeah.
Okay. If you just went to do this in a trust, in a payments journal now, it would have been difficult to sort of.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to put in there.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, that is it. You can just tally it up, and then continue, and then you will carry down and whatever. So I want you now to finish this example, but remember we're busy, we don't have more time. So I want you to finish this example, and then remember we're doing it at 86 hours. Especially I want you to do the fees journal, which is very important. Transfer journal based on a section 86. Trust journal, okay? Client control account. If all the accounts I want you to do, all these ledger accounts. Okay. There's anything else before? Does somebody want to speak to you? Is there anything else that you want to say before I give the speaker give the mic over to the other lady?
Hi, Aziza.
Yes.
Do you mind please just rephrasing on the 14th, Batcher, the 250? How did you get to that 250? Because that's where I was quite just a bit baffled. Yeah, that one exactly.
Okay, let me just go to page 14. They say C. Candace received a combined check from A. Baha, a client, to the amount of 700. So 450 was a deposit for fees still to be levied for the preparation of a purchase contract. So we can't take the 450 into account because it's just levied. But settlement of his account for services rendered in a collection matter. Fees have been charged during the previous, so the 250 was money that they did receive actually. You see?
All right, Aziza, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Aziza?
Yes, Vincent.
Before you go, please, can you take me back to Adams? I can see how we added up to get a 5-6, but how am I not going to forget this? I'm trying to. I can see everything they work out, but before.
But you don't know when to do it.
Yeah, because when you told us to, when you gave us the 10 minutes, the 5 minutes, I did everything. And for the first time, I can say I'm proud of myself. But that question on 14, that entrance, I left a question mark. I did not make an entrance because there were 3 transactions which I couldn't understand. But now when you came down here, you entered first the 250 because I did not know how to break it. Now we went and then we worked out G. Adams account in order to get this. So, which means
so
in exact.
You won't know when you have to do it like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling right now, because that means.
That's because you must read the questions. Because in this question, you must read what the question says. Because in this question, they say the attorney's practice paid the amount due to G. Adams. So if the attorney's practice paid the amount after all transfers were made, so you need to know what are you actually transferring.
Okay.
It's almost like, what's the balance? How much do I owe you after I did this and that for you? So in order to know how much I must owe you, I'm going to have to do an account to fix it up to see who owes who money. So
that
basically,
was some indirect instructions that you need to go do
that
some
was
work.
exactly like we did on page 116 of Corsi and Medusa. That is the exact same thing that they did there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording now because here is a lady that would like to speak to you. Okay.